Okay, so now from yesterday, let's go ahead and take a look at a lot of this. All right, now, as we go through, we can kind of see how things went. Did anybody have any questions with like 15 through 24? What? No, I don't. What do you, seriously, they're just definitions. 15 through 24, they're just definitions. Which one is impossible?
19.
All right, so if we look at 19, you just have to find one, then you have to find 6. All right, now for some of you are having trouble, all right. The easiest thing to do is we are no longer talking about this over here. This has nothing to do with it. So sometimes if there's 4 or intersecting lines, it causes problems. So you have to just say, well, I'm not talking about that. So what are those called, Maren? Come on, they're on the inside or on the outside? So they're exterior angles. That's how you do it. It's really and truly that simple. All right. Alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, and consecutive interior. Those are your options. What? 17. So 3 and 5. So there you have it. Are they on the inside or the outside? Say that again.
One of them's on that side, one of them is in the inside.
They're both on the inside. Here are the 2 lines. Come on now. And again, I'm just trying to tell you, it's going to be hard to do this if you don't see this. These are the 2 lines. This is the transversal, right? It's 3 and 5 are inside those 2 lines. Now, let me explain this to you just to make sure. What ones are in the exterior? 4, 6, and 1 are in the exterior. Now, again, you can say that doesn't make any sense to me. You with me on that? All right. And once you see that, do you agree? It's just simple, right? Inside and outside. All right. Corresponding is the one where there's one inside and one outside. All right, Olivia, what?
So number 22 would be corresponding.
I don't.
know that number 22 and then I'm alternate. Okay, no.
All right, what?
21, would that be consecutive interior?
Yes. Right, that's what I'm saying. They're just observations you're making. All right, observations. All right. Now we get into something a little bit trickier, I do believe. All right, so let's take a look at 25 through 33. Now, for me, all right, what I'm doing is I'm looking and plugging numbers in. I'm not answering the question. I'm just finding all the what? Finding all the measures, right? So what does that mean? Angle 11 is 62. So right off the bat, I'm just going to put 62 right here. And then 14 is 38. So I'm going to put 38 degrees right there. And now from that, I should be able to find everything else. Now, notice I'm not answering 25 through 33 because I'm just going to do what? Find all the measure of all the angles. Does everybody agree with that? All right. So now what I'm going to do to help myself, though, is I'm going to copy this. And then I'm going to paste it. I'm going to blow it up so it'll be easier for me to write everything. All right, there we go. All right, so with that, does everybody agree that angle 8 is what? 62. And angle 12 is what? Well, hold on, I'm going to do a better job for you. I don't care about those, right? I don't care about all these numbers. That'll just might interfere a little bit. All right. So now it should be easier. All right, so everybody knows now that this is 62. All right, so what's just to the left of that 62? 118, and the vertical with that is 118. Vertical with 14 is, and then linear pair would be, yeah, I don't think this is that hard, guys. Now, can someone tell me what this angle is right here? What is it? 38, of course. Now, why do we say of course? Because you can say the 38 and the 142 have to be supplementary, or you can say that this angle 14 corresponds with that angle, so they have to be equal. Everybody good with that? And so then right off the bat, I can come over here and put 38. Does everybody agree with that? That's vertical. Now, somebody tell me what this angle is right here. 62. So what's 62 plus 38? 100. So what is this angle right here? 80. That's 80. All right. And then this has to be 62. I just think that's pretty easy. That's always on the SAT and always on the ACT. All right. All of those. All right. Everybody good with that now? Now we can move on. Yes, sir.
On the SAT, would they make it like multiple choice and then?
Yeah, most of the time it's multiple choice. All right, ACT, it's always multiple choice. All right, so you can see how easy that is. And then I don't, we answered all those questions then. All right, so now let's come down here. All right, so these are the ones I feel like are super important. So first of all, what is Y on number 34? 114, right? So that wasn't a big deal. So now, what's true about this angle right here, the X plus 12? Yes, Maren. Definitely not 114 now. First of all, it's an acute angle. This forms a linear pair, right? So that means they add up to 180. Agreed? Now do you see what I'm saying? If this is 114 degrees, what is the angle? X plus 12 equal? Yes, 180 minus 114. Now, everybody should be doing their subtraction. Not that I'm teaching you how to subtract, but you should say 180 minus 100 is 80, minus 10 is 70, minus 4, right? 66. All right. And then from there, X equals what? Bless you. 54. All right. Is everybody okay with that? X equals 54. Any issues or concerns? Issues or concerns? All right. Over here. Bless you. Bless you. So what's true about 105 and this angle right there, guys? They're congruent, right? Everybody okay with that? So 3x minus 15 equals 105. So 3x equals 120. So x equals 40. All right. Now, there's lots of ways to do this. Over here, I might say this is 75 degrees. Everybody okay with that? And so then y plus 25 equals 75. So y equals 50. Is everybody happy with that? Is that the only way to do that problem? No, there's so many ways of doing the problem. So many different ways of doing the same problem. All right. You could have said these two angles add up to 180. Does everybody agree with that? There's lots of ways, and you just have to remember that. All right. Same thing with doing a proof. It's more than one way of doing a proof. Yes.
Why is 3x minus 15 equal to 105?
Because they are corresponding angles. Do you agree? The other thing I used to tell kids, if you don't know, obtuse angles are equal, acute angles are equal, and obtuse and acute always equal 180. To me, that's how I learned it in geometry. I couldn't remember all those words, right? So I was just able to look at the picture and say, well, obviously, true. You can't set an acute equal to an obtuse. That makes sense? So if you don't know, that's how I do it. All right. Yes.
Are alternate exteriors congruent?
Yes, they are. Right. And you can easily prove that. Bless you.
But
Very easily. Yes.
Why is y 50?
Are you asking me to solve y plus 25 equals 75?
No, I just want to know how you got to like 50.
I subtracted 25 from both sides. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now everybody's looking at 36. To me, it seems as though that should be something, but now that you heard what I just said, 2x is at obtuse or acute? Obtuse. And 54 is obviously what? So they have to add up to what? 180. One way to do that is to say, okay, this is 54 because it's vertical. And then these are consecutive interior angles. So those two things, 2x plus 54 has to equal 180. Anybody have any issues with that? So what does x equal? Yeah, 63, right? Anybody? Yes.
Why is 2x plus 54 180?
Well, what do you think it is? Well, you should be able to look at that and say, do you agree the lines are parallel, right?
Yeah.
So if they are parallel, what type of angle is 2x? Is it obtuse or acute?
Obtuse.
And 54 is,
Cute.
so if you forget everything during the test, you can say there's no way an obtuse can equal an acute. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So if they can't be equal, they must be equal to what?
180.
They must be equal to 180. Right? Now, because you understand what we did about corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, those are all congruent. Consecutive interior angles are supplementary. Shh. So I'm still working. Does that make sense now? And do you agree those are consecutive interior angles?
Yeah.
That's all you have to know. All right, each time. All right, so now this one is kind of tricky. All right, so let me tell you this. On the test, occasionally, I would put these problems on there because for whatever reason, kids can't see this. If you extend the lines, the problems become easier to see. All right. And what I mean by that is if you extend these lines, when you're looking at this way, now you can kind of say, okay, I see the parallels. Right. So do these two angles have to add up to 180? Come on now, this is the important part right here. Do those two angles have to add up to 180? Well, we can say no, because 96 plus 94 isn't 180. Why is that? Why do they not equal 180? Because they're consecutive interior angles. They should add up to 180. Say it again. Yeah, they're working with the wrong sides. What does that mean? They're working with the wrong sides. Tell us, come on. Try, you guys. You're not sitting here saying nothing and doing nothing and contributing nothing is not going to get you well or do well for the test because you're going to have to do it yourself. Say it again. Come on, I can't hear you. Yes, that's true, but you're not telling me why 96 and 94 don't add up to 180. Tell us. They're both obtuse, but that's not a reason. Why?
Because the lines that are going vertically are parallel with those lines.
Exactly. Come on, people. That is a huge part of the lesson. All right, a huge part of the lesson. Listen to what he just said. That's understanding and not understanding. All right, and the hard part about geometry is you have to see everything. And that's just hard. Right? So I understand what you're telling me. So please look at the horizontal lines. Are the horizontal lines parallel? If they're not parallel, none of the things that I said are true. Does everybody hear what I just said? So if lines are not parallel, are corresponding angles congruent? No. If lines are parallel, are corresponding angles congruent? Yes. Does everybody see what I'm getting at? Now, please, just tell me, all right, if you're not understanding what I just said. The lines must be parallel, or those four statements I said about corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, and consecutive are not true. That's why 96 and 94 don't add up to 180, because, watch me, these two lines are not parallel. So none of that holds true. These two lines here are what? So what's true about the consecutive interior angles? What's true about the consecutive interior angles? No, now listen, you guys are not saying much. Look at the consecutive interior angles. One is what? And one is, therefore, they equal 180. That's what I want you to be able to tell me. Or that if you see two acute angles, they must be what? They must be equal. If you see two obtuse angles, they must be what? They must be equal. When you, couple years, just like from 6th grade to now, you don't remember anything I said about consecutive angles or alternate interior or alternate exterior. I promise you we did all this. All right. And it's okay not to remember. But I think it's obvious that if you have an obtuse and acute, they have to do what? They have to add up to 180. If you have two acutes, they must be what? They must be equal. If you have two obtuse, they must be what? That's what I'm hoping you get from the information today. What?
One's obtuse and one's acute.
What's an obtuse mean?
Larger than 90 degrees.
What's acute mean?
Less than 90 degrees.
So 94 is obviously, can you look at that picture and say, obviously 94 is up to, and I don't want you to feel bad. I'm glad you're asking me. So I'm going to show. Okay. So now I'm glad some of you said that. So this right here and this right here, what angle did I just draw? 90 degrees. This now is what? Obtuse. This is what? You with me now? Honestly, I'm only telling you how I learned it. That's probably part of my problem. Is I had trouble too. How do I know it's greater than 90? So I drew a 90-degree angle, and then that's less than 90. So that's got to be acute. Obtuse, more than 90. You see what I'm saying? Right? So if you're ever unsure if it's obtuse, draw the 90-degree angle. Then you can tell, looking at it, whether it's acute or obtuse. All right. Honestly, I'm glad we're taking an extra day. All right. I hope you feel better about it. All right. Is everybody comfortable with that now? So 3y plus 44, help me. 3y plus 44, what? Plus 94 equals 180. So then I have 3y plus, what is that? 138 equals 180. Is that right? So 3y equals 42. So y equals 14. Everybody happy with that? All right, so now everyone, don't sit there and not say something. Tell me about the 96 and the 2x. Right, I don't have to do the math on that. Everybody can write that. 96 plus 2x equals 180. Everybody happy with that? Hopefully feel better. Okay, let's take a look at 38. All right, so if I'm looking at 38, I would just tell me what's true about 5y and 120.
Yeah, that's one.
Thank you for participating. They add up to 180. Anybody not see that? Come on now, guys, be a hero, say something. Then if you're wrong, no one cares. And if you're right, you look really smart. What?
Is the 5y to the top line and the 120 to the bottom line?
What is is 5y to the top line and 120 to the bottom line?
Yeah,
What does that mean?
like you know how the top and bottom are parallel to each other?
Yeah,
So the 5y to the top line and the 120 to the bottom line?
5y is this angle
Yeah, I know, that's what I meant.
and 120 is this angle.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. You didn't say the angle, you said line.
Oh, my fault.
All right. So what's true about 5y and 120 again? Okay, someone else now. Be brave. No one's you're not gonna walk out the door and someone's gonna say, oh, how dumb you are because you said something wrong. No one says that. No one. All right, so someone else, be brave, put on your brave shoes today. All right, and tell me what's true about 2x and 108. Marin, no, let's let Marin try.
Oh, wow.
Go, come on.
Aren't they're, wait, no. I don't know.
Don't think about the name. Look at the angle. Are they both acute? Are they both obtuse? Or is one acute and one obtuse?
Are they both obtuse?
They're both obtuse. So what?
So,
Come on. Come on.
5y plus 2x.
What are we talking about? We're talking about 2x and 108. What's true? Tell her. 2x equals 108. They're both obtuse, right? That had 5y has nothing to do with it. We're talking about 2x and 108. All right. By the way, if you want, you could tell me those are what type of angles. No, it's okay. I want to know what they are. They're called alternate interior. Now, you might not see it. And the reason why you don't see it is because they're not drawn. If you were to draw this out like this and kind of eliminate that, you can clearly see those are alternate interior angles. So I'm trying to help you. Sometimes you're just going to have to draw things. Tell me.
How do you know that 108 equals 2?
Because they're alternate interior angles. Or you can just say they're both obtuse. Now, you might say like Abby, well, I can't even tell they're obtuse. What are you saying, crazy guy? Can you see they're obtuse? So they have to be what?
Well, I don't know why they have to be equal.
Because those are your choices. They can either be equal or they can be equal to 180. Two obtuse angles can't equal 180. Two acute angles can't equal 180. Only an obtuse and acute can equal 180. That makes sense. All right, tell me.
So you're saying that like sometimes you have to like draw the lines, which I understand, but if like the line by 5y and 120 is there, then like
It throws you off. That's why they're doing it.
yeah, but isn't it there for like a reason?
Yes, because you need that to talk about the 5y and the 120. We already did the 5y and the 120. We want to know about 2x and 108.
But with the lines, the other line, 2x and 108 wouldn't be alternate interiors.
Well, what would they be then?
I
They're
don't
on
know.
alternate sides of a transversal, and they're on the inside of the parallel lines.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Let's try. Now, again, this is kind of annoying. All right. But what's true about x? Come on, guys. What's x? Just tell me the answer. 60. Anybody have a problem with that being 60? Okay, so now we know it's 60. So now I put a 60 here. So what's the relationship between this and this? Do those add up to 180? Now, before you answer, Will, you better be able to back it up. Why did you say no? When obviously those are consecutive interior angles.
Because they're both acute.
That's right. They're both acute. Now, why do they not equal 180 in this case, Will? They should equal 180.
Oh, they shouldn't.
Why?
Because they're both acute.
No, you're not answering my question. Please tell him.
The parallel lines aren't horizontal.
Well, the lines aren't parallel. How about that? These two lines are not parallel. Therefore, the rules don't apply. Therefore, the rules do not apply to that. You with me, Will? But you're like me. I would have just looked at the figure and said they can't be because they're both acute. There's no way they equal 180. All right, so that's 100% correct. You understand what I just said though, right? The lines are not parallel, therefore they can't be supplementary. All right. So now that I know X is 60, how do I solve this problem? Say it again. Equals what? No. Are these equal? These are alternate interior angles. Are those equal? No, because the lines are not parallel. They're not equal. What do I do?
X equals 3y plus 40.
What does X equal?
60.
So what does this angle equal up here? 110. See how sneaky they are? That's hard, especially because you're used to doing it one way. Now they're throwing something else in there. So that is equal to 110 degrees. How did I know that was 110 degrees, Lucas?
Because the.
Or whoever said that?
60 times 3.
Yeah, 60 times 3 minus 70 is 110. So I know this angle is 110 degrees because I know angle 6 is 60. That was hard. I'm agreeing with you. That was hard. All right. So now who can tell me what the measure of this angle has to be? 70. That has to be 70. So 3y plus 40 equals 70. Go ahead. Anybody have a question? Yes, good.
Which angle is 3y? It's the one on the left, right?
This one right here,
Okay.
3y plus 40. And on your test, I'll have arrows drawn if you can't tell.
Okay, thank you.
Right. I'll do my best. All right. But sometimes they're not as obvious. I agree. But I thought that was kind of obvious. All right. Here we go. Just in the sake of time, we'll spend time tomorrow doing that proof. All right. Was anybody able to figure these two out, 48 and 49? What? What did you do for 48?
72 plus 50. Plus X is equal to 180.
I guess if you can tell me why that's true. I'm saying I think this is hard, really hard. All right, you guys tell me it's time to go. Is that what okay. Well, everybody's clanking their notebooks like they're ready to go. What? Tell me.
I continued that line.
Yeah, see, guys, I just want to tell you something. Right. This is why geometry is hard. I'm not even gonna pretend. I'm not even gonna say it's easy. If you don't learn to extend lines, it's very difficult to see. All right, very difficult to see. All right, so we will finish up these last 3 or 4 problems tomorrow in class, and then we will start the review. And the test, I'll just move the test, like I said, to Wednesday.
Love you, Mr.
Yeah.
I love you so much.
Right, whatever.